All right, number 13. The function h defined by h of t equal to at plus b, where a and b are constants, models the height in centimeters of the sunflower after t days of growth. During a time period in which the growth is approximately linear, what does a represent? Okay, so there's a part of growth that's almost linear, so like a straight line. So if we do go back to the table here up on the graph, see where the graph is almost linear. So they're probably talking about like this part, right? See, this is like almost like a perfectly, straight line there. All right, so the numbers doesn't really matter. For this question, we're trying to interpret the meaning of this model. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. So see the h of t, this equation h of t equal to at plus b. Okay, so this is a linear function or linear model. And we know the b in the end, that's the y-intercept of this linear equation. And a should be the slope. Okay, so we relate this to like a y equal to mx plus b. So in this case, the slope will be a, and then the y-intercept will be the b in the end. Okay, and the x value in this case will be t, right? So that will be the time. And we can also see that on the graph. The x-axis represent time in days. And then the y value here is h of t. That's like the y value in this model is represent the height of the plant. Okay, so the height of the sunflower. So we're trying to interpret the meaning of a, okay, which is the slope. Okay, what does that mean in this question? All right, so we said for a linear equation, the y-intercept is always some kind of initial amount. Okay, so that's a number that we begin with. And a is the slope here will be the rate of change. Okay, slope is rate of change. So in this case, right, so that's how much does a height change as the time increases, right? So the slope tells us how much does a y change as x increase by 1. So here in this scenario is as the number of days increase by 1 day, or how much does the height increase? Right, that's what the slope represent. Okay, so with that in mind, we can just go through the answer choices, right? So A says the predicted number of centimeters of sunflower grows each day during the period. Well, that's what we just said, right? So for each additional day, right, how much does the sunflower grow? So that's a rate of change, and that will be our slope. So sounds like A should be correct. Okay. But if you go through the other answer choices, B says the predicted height in centimeters of the sunflower at the beginning of the period. That will be the y-intercept. Okay, so that will be the B value. So not for the A value. C says the predicted height in centimeter of the sunflower at the end of the period. So that will be the height in the end of the graph. So that's again, that's not the rate of change, right? That's like the total height in the end. So not C. And then D, the predicted total increase in the height in centimeter during the period. So it's a total increase, then won't be the slope. Okay, slope is just for each additional x value, right? So for each additional day, how much it increased, right? Not the total, right? Not the total increase. All right. So for number 13, our final answer should be letter A for number 13.